Assalamu alaikum. My name is Islah. Tonight we have a very special guest. You may know him from Ertugrul. This is an evening with Reshad Strik. Assalamu alaikum, brother. How are you doing?
Thanks, Strik,
it's a very unique surname. Where is that from? Where does it originate from?
Okay, so I looked it up on Google, and it basically it's an old Sarajevo last name.
Okay, Bosnia.
So, Bosnia.
Bosnia.
Old Sarajevo, capital Sarajevo,
yeah.
Capital of Bosnia. Sarajevo, old last name, and it actually derives from Germany.
Wow.
So it's a German last name.
Is it a family name as well? Or?
It's my family name.
Oh, mashallah. Tell us a bit about your life back home in Australia.
Yeah.
Are you from the part where they have loads of snakes, or are you from the part where it's really nice?
There's snakes everywhere in Australia. All right, so I was born in Canberra, that's like the capital of Australia, and my mother was also born in Canberra. So she had been in Canberra. I don't know if you know much about Australia, but Canberra is like a diplomatic.
I mean, I know as much as Chris Hemsworth posts on his Instagram. That's as much.
Right, I mean, Australia is a very young country. It's 200 years old, and Canberra's a really like a new sort of city, capital city. And my mother was born there because they sort of created Canberra. She's old school Australian. And my father migrated to Australia in 1965, and my mother, they got married, 4 boys, and my mother became Muslim when she went around 1980, around that. And we grew up in a small sort of like Muslim family.
Yeah.
My father was a real hard worker. He was a tradie, so he was a house painter, a building painter, and he was a hard worker. My mother's a chartered accountant, so
came from 2 very hardworking parents.
Yeah, it was really interesting. Really interesting.
Mashallah.
And I got 3 older brothers. They're very active in sports. They were like sporting champions and all that. So we sort of like grew up with them. It was good fun.
And did you always want to get into acting, or did your parents approve, or were they like mine when they said they're Asian? Acting is not a proper career.
Really?
Yeah.
What did they say?
It's not a proper career. Be a doctor, be a teacher. What are your parents like when you decided I want to be an actor? Or was it like a natural, organic process, or?
Well, I did a lot of. I did a lot of plays in high school, and I was really good at plays, like playing Shakespeare. But the thing was, I wasn't really good at academics, and so actually reading a play and breaking down, the plot line and all that sort of stuff, I had problems with my school results, my reports and that. But actually getting up on stage, I'd win awards and stuff like that as like a teenager. And so my mother saw that, and she really, endorsed that. She really, pushed me into that. So she just thought it was a way for me that, I was very creative. So she really supported that.
What was your first job into acting? And what age were you when you had your first acting job?
So I was doing commercials. I was on the so I went to university.
Okay. Yeah.
So for acting.
Yeah.
And that was 4.5 years of university. And at the same time, on the side, I was running down the street, and I was also waiting. I was a waiter and that sort of stuff, at cafes. And then I'd also do commercials. So my first actual acting job was a commercial, KFC commercial in Australia.
A KFC commercial?
Yeah, I did 2 Domino's commercials, one for Japan, one for Australia.
Yeah. How old were you when you did those commercials? How long ago was this?
Oh, this is like in 2001, 2002, 2003. And that paid for my tuition.
Yes.
I was very fortunate. Alhamdulillah, I was very fortunate that I could do that to support my university, pay off my university, and not have a debt on my head with that.
I think we all know how that feels like.
Yeah, there's an Australian system with that, where that's how it works. So you pay back the government.
Okay.
So I finished that, and my first actual job was Blue Heelers on Channel 7.
Okay.
It's the same channel in Australia. It's very famous, like Channel 4 of Australia.
Okay.
And I was an Italian footballer. That was sort of like a crime. There was some problem like that. So it was weird thing.
Do you remember the role?
Yeah, I remember the role. My name was Tony Peroni, and it was like hey.
And what was your journey like into Hollywood?
So I did a couple of big TV shows in Australia, and after that I got an invitation to come to Hollywood, and I seized that opportunity. I got out there, and I did all kinds of stuff. I did a couple of music videos there as an actor, and then my first film was The Hills Have Eyes 2, which is a horror film by Wes Craven. It's like Wes Craven also did Scream and all these other horror films. We filmed that in Morocco. I was out there for 6 weeks, and then I ended up coming back to Australia. I got another film I did in Australia, which was called Newcastle, that premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival, which is a really big film festival.
So you got quite a lot of credits under your name.
I just kept going. I was just like working.
So you moved to Turkey in 2013, I believe. Is that correct?
That's correct.
What was it like going from Snakes in Australia to Turkey? What was the difference in culture, and how did you cope?
Yeah, so I moved to Hollywood. I worked in Hollywood for 5 years, and after that, I decided that I wanted to go to Bosnia and live. I met my wife, and I was just like, okay, I want to work in Bosnia. So I wanted to produce films from Bosnia. And what ended up happening, I ended up getting an invitation to go to Turkey.
Yeah.
And I was just looking for halal work. It just seemed like it was the right thing to do. And learning Turkish was something that...
So you actually learned Turkish?
Yeah, I didn't know Turkish when I went to Turkey. No. They invited me to... They were like, hey, we need leading men. Would you like to come? I was like, this is crazy. You have a population of 80 million people. Why are you inviting me? You know, you have enough Turkish-speaking people that could play roles. And they're like, no, we need you. And I was confused. And I took the job.
Yeah.
I learned Turkish in over 12 months. And my wife helped me because she knew Arabic.
Yeah.
And she was such a great support to me because she knew Arabic.
Yeah.
You know, she knew so many Turkish words because, you know, almost half of Turkish.
Yeah, it's very similar, very similar.
It is, yeah. I mean,
is that how you got involved into Ertugrul? Was there an audition process?
Ertugrul was like later, yeah, way later.
What was the audition process like for that? Did you get called for it, or did you?
So I did a bunch of other shows in Turkey.
Okay.
First on the Turkish, did a couple of shows, and then they called me in for an audition for Ertugrul, play Ertugrul. And the channel had a problem with that. The CRC had a problem with that because they didn't want an Australian Bosnian to play this huge Turkish hero. This is not right. Yeah. So, and I was cool with that. So I started doing another TV show, and I was like around the 10th episode, they called me. The producer called me. He was like, you know what, we need some more charisma in this show. We want you to kill all the bad people, and we want you to be a bad person and kill all the bad people. And I was like, okay, sure, let's do it. And I was like, I really like that because I love horses. And I ride horses and stunts and all that sort of stuff. I love doing. So I said, sure, let's do it. So I was originally supposed to kill Titus. I was originally supposed to kill everyone. I was supposed to be like that. But the ratings went really well, and the feedback was really well, to a point that I'd walk into a shop in Istanbul. Yeah. And no one would speak to me. They were like scared of me. They wouldn't even want to serve me. They were like, we know who you are.
They didn't
like me. Turks take TV shows so serious.
Wow.
They become sick with it. They're like so serious.
You mentioned horse riding. So did you always used to ride horses, or did you learn for the show?
Always. So I used to play polo as like a teenager.
Okay, so that makes sense.
And you know, I just got into horse riding as a teenager.
Yeah.
One of my best friends at grammar school, he had horses, and we were just riding almost every weekend. And I just couldn't afford it by myself, so my friend started helping me out. And then I was working for it, and then I ended up playing polo, and I played polo for a few years in Australia. That's like the best game ever. Yeah. It's like
that's the one where you have a stick and you kind of it's like hockey on a horse, right?
So you know the polo, you have the polo t-shirts, polo shirts and that. Yeah. So basically you're riding at like full gallop. Yeah. And there's a ball, and you jump out, and it's just you connect.
So it's literally hockey on a horse.
It's like rugby on a horse because you're actually hitting each other.
The horses are hitting each other too.
Yeah, horses are hitting each other. It's very. But as a sport, probably one of the best sports in the world.
So that obviously definitely helped towards Ertugrul when you.
Yeah. So growing up with horses, I was also horse jumping. I was doing all that stuff because of just to become a better horseman. So when just thinking as a Muslim growing up in Australia, wanted to be an actor, play a role in Ertugrul was just like a dream job.
Dream come true. How did what was the language that you learned? Turkish. When you learned the Turkish, was it a different dialect to the Turkish in the show?
Yeah, really interesting. So the Turkish in the show is a little bit closer to the original Osmanlı,
Mm,
Al-Othmaniya language, the
mm,
Ottoman language. A little bit more closer to the Ottoman language. It's not real Ottoman language because
mm.
it's still TV. You have to understand that.
Yeah.
But the Ottoman language is such a beautiful language because it's so colorful. You have a lot of Persian words. You have a lot of Arabic words, and it's our history. It's my history because I'm Bosnian, and
Mm.
we have so many Ottoman words in the Bosnian language.
Mm. Did you find it difficult to actually learn it, or kind of change from the Turkish you learned to
It was very easy.
very easy?
Yeah, it was very easy.
Mashallah, mashallah.
Alhamdulillah.
Um, what was Claudius about?
So Claudius there's a little bit of a complex character there because he'd been a crusader, a Knights Templar for so long, and he'd done some really bad things. So therefore, he was depressed. Although he was like a ninja of a crusade, like he'd kill, he'd do all that, and he was questioning himself why he was doing that. He had doubt within himself, and he was depressed with that.
Mm.
So he was sent. He was rejuvenated through the cardinal, and he'd been sent on a mission to get this iman, like iman,
Yeah, yeah.
inside of a sandak, inside of a box, because they believe that this guy, this Ibn al-Arabiya, has some sort of special powers in this box. So I was sent on a mission to kill Ibn Arabiya, and to get this gold, something inside of this
Yeah.
box. But later we found out the box was empty, and we just couldn't understand what Iman was. And then Ertugrul came and saved them, and I got away. And then I was trekking Ibn Arabi for a while, and I was just listening to him. And eventually some of the words that he said broke my heart as a Claudius, as a Knights Templar. Everything just made sense.
Mm.
And I just took Shahada. I told Tawbah, Shahada, just take me.
So is he a ninja on screen as well as off screen, or
Definitely off screen.
Did you relate to the character at all?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, why not? I mean, what's not to relate to? Becoming Muslim and realizing what Islam is all about. It's just highly relatable, isn't it? It's like,
Was there any point during the series where you felt like, I really feel connected to this character? Was there a scene you were playing where you kind of felt that connection?
yeah, absolutely. I mean, almost. Okay, so
Was there a moment that you realized, oh, you know what, I really feel connected to this character? I really feel, was there a moment that you kind of felt?
it's quite easy playing. Like it's quite easy playing because when you, as a character, you look at what's your objective as a character whole. What is your character about? And you just apply the actions to that, and you just do the homework. Just do the homework. It's all about preparing and homework. So
this is a bit of a difficult question, maybe. Does Hollywood or the film industry or the acting industry, does it conflict with your religion?
majority of films, stories that are being told, that are being made, the philosophy of those stories, I have to look at and think, do I agree to that? So I was offered all kinds of crazy jobs, and unfortunately I have to say no to a majority of them. By majority, I'm saying 95% of them.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, I mean, I just don't agree with some of the Western philosophies that are out today. I just cannot play. Personally, I cannot portray a homosexual because I just doesn't rub well with me, and I just don't want my kids to see that.
No, the reason I ask is because there's so many young actors out there, so many aspiring actors, and some might think that because of their religion that they're held back, or because of their culture they're held back. Is that, is there a bit of advice you can give to anyone watching?
Okay, so my advice would be train as an actor, do classes, like go and do your classes, read techniques, read methods, follow who who your best sort of actors are out there as a role model. Get role models, you know, get someone to be your mentor, you know, have a mentor, write to them, you know, ask them for advice, because we all need advice. Personally, I need advice right now. Like when I'm choosing a role, I'm going to call someone. I'll call my wife, or I'll call someone, and they'll give me advice. Istishara, you know, they'll teach you what you need. And I definitely think, you know, to be a good actor, you need to prepare. You need to take a lot of time in not just remembering your lines. You need to memorize the lines of other actors. You need to know what the film is about. You need to know what your character is about, and does your character serve what way. So, I mean, from my experience in Australia, when I was doing TV shows in Australia, we kept getting these actors that didn't train, that didn't go to university, and they would say, I don't want my actor to say this line because it's really negative, and I don't want the audience to see me as like that negative kind of person. Well, your role is written as that negative, serve that negative and make it work. So unfortunately, that's
no, I think that's very good advice. Very good advice. What's next for you in your career? Is there anything you're going to do for the Muslim community? Because Ertugrul was a very popular series in the whole
inshallah, we'll see
community.
similar things to that. Probably even better, inshallah, because I'm working with a lot of people still in Hollywood, a lot of friends that I have, and we want to make some projects now in Turkey, because Turkey is an amazing place to make production and the film. And I've just got so many, you know, alhamdulillah, Allah's blessed me to meet so many wonderful people in this film industry, and I really look forward to creating my own content. Islamic content in English, because I believe English. I mean, I think we're owed that. I mean, time is going, and I think we owed that. We need some more English content.
Alhamdulillah, it was very nice having a chat with you, and inshallah, all the best for your future ventures.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Alhamdulillah, that was an evening with Reshad Strik. Join us next time, inshallah. My name is Isla. Assalamu alaikum.